And we're going.
All right. All right. So I'm here with Peter Hannon. This is my bishop back in Idaho Falls when we were living there. Got to spend some time with each other, a little bit of overlap where we got to know each other in the same congregation and a lot of meetings that you and I were able to attend together.
Yeah, absolutely.
That I didn't detest, as I'll remind you. They were great and enjoyable for me. But we're out kind of near the Teton Mountain, actually, Grand Teton, and just gorgeous, vast, open expanse right now, sitting pretty near the edge of a cliff. And Peter reminded me that if he goes down, I'm going down with him because we're tethered together through the microphone. So it's good to be up here.
It has been a great morning. It was painful and frustrating at times, but I'm glad that we at least made it this far, and it has been an enjoyable experience.
We survived.
Yes, we did.
Oh, that was quite the work. We started out going the wrong direction, wrong trail. It was an easy trail, though.
It was, and that's why we knew it was the wrong one.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and kick into the questions. So the first thing is, what is your definition of light and dark?
I've struggled to come up with a definition that seems to encompass all that light is. Even though you gave me a few weeks to think about this, it has been difficult to truly pinpoint a definition. But examples of light have helped me to recognize what light is. It's the ability to see. Light is a form of warmth and security, and I guess that's been the way that I've been able to describe light and dark, has been the feelings that are associated with it. In darkness, I feel confusion and frustration and loss, or feeling lost. Especially this morning as we started out at 4 o'clock, and it was dark, and there was no ability to see, and stumbling over rocks and the struggles that way. And yet, once we turned on a flashlight, once the sun started to come up, there was a degree of confidence and comfortability that, okay, now I can see where I'm at in this process, and I feel comfortable and confident that I'm moving in the right direction. So I don't have a definition for it. I know it when I see it, and the way that it makes me feel.
Okay. So with your understanding of light, have you ever experienced a sunrise metaphorically in your life? And if so, would you mind sharing any one of those experiences?
I would have to say I have experienced sunrises, mostly because the experience that it has been in moving from darkness to a sense of light and understanding. When looking back, when Bree and I were dating, it was nice. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed being with her, and I enjoyed our conversations. But it wasn't until, much like when the sun crests and there's that ability to see everything, until I committed that I was going to marry her, it just was kind of dusk and that pre-dawn light. Yeah, things might have worked out. Yeah, there was a degree of uncertainty, but once I committed to her, and I'm talking about at the point of proposing, at the point of staying married or staying engaged to the point of getting married, and even throughout all of these challenges that we have faced over these 18 years, it has felt as if the sunrise and a new dawn, a new experience has provided light and warmth and comfort and confidence that I have made the right decision.
Wow. So what do you feel like is the thing that you've learned? Like, what is the takeaway from that? Is it make a commitment, or is it?
I think so. I have the times when I have committed to God, committed to Bree, committed to a job, that is when it feels like there is an outpouring of comfort and confidence, and I'm moving in the right direction. And I think that Heavenly Father waits to give that to us until we have made that decision. The light is just on the other side of the horizon, but if we aren't committed to a choice, it's just going to kind of, well, this might work out, and this might work out, and this might work out, and until we make a commitment to one, I think he's, excuse me, I think he holds back on giving that light until that point.
I recognize that within my own life. The times that I was waffling and undecided, it wasn't until I said, no, I'm doing this,
Yep.
that I started to feel that myself. So that resonates with me. All right. So what about the word wholehearted? What is that word mean to you?
I want to believe that it is a moment where you decide, no matter what, I'm committed to this situation. No matter what, I'm sticking it out. And I think wholehearted is a decision that has to be made, but there are juncture points, much like on a trail where it divides, where we took the wrong one, where we have a choice to recommit to be wholehearted. I think that in jobs, after a year, well, for some people it's after a week, they're like, okay, I got to recommit to this.
Yeah.
For marriages, I know that there are challenges that couples face. I mean, Bree and I have faced plenty of challenges, and we had to sit down and say, okay, what are we going to back away from this decision, or are we going to recommit and be wholehearted into it and go for it? And the times when we have chosen to be wholehearted and to recommit ourselves, it doesn't get easier, but we find a way to make it work.
Right.
And I think that being wholehearted is recognizing that you have laid aside all other options, and this is the one that you are sticking with, and this is what I'm going to pursue.
Okay. So who's somebody that represents that word to you?
Wholehearted.
And more importantly, how have they impacted your life?
One that comes to mind, that because I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, might be a bit cliche, but President Nelson is a wholehearted disciple of Christ. He has accepted various and vast degrees of responsibility, and at each juncture point, when it would have been easy to say, nope, I'm only wholehearted to this point, or I'm only willing to go to this point, he's done just the opposite. He has realized that in order to demonstrate being a wholehearted disciple of Christ, it means accepting responsibility, accepting challenges, and going in the direction and going to the places where Heavenly Father is at and doing the things that He expects us to do. And in spite of the fact that He is the prophet of the church, in spite of the fact that He has done, he's in a significant position of leadership, He, to me, represents a wholehearted disciple of Christ, because regardless of the challenges, the callings, the obstacles that he faces in the church and sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ, he has accepted them and he has stayed true to his commitments.
Okay. How's that impacted you?
I certainly want to excuse me. I want to be at that point. I know I'm less than half the age of President Nelson, and there's a lifetime of opportunity to demonstrate, but especially over these last 6 months since I have been released as bishop, I've realized I have no calling, and so I have no mandated direction to work.
Right.
I get to pick where I do my service, and there's a young couple that she's going through some health challenges, and we mow their yard. Every week we drop by, we mow their yard. I don't even know if they know that we're doing it. I'm not so much concerned about the recognition. I see it as this is my way of being a good member of the church and taking care of the people within my community. My personal study, even though I've been released as bishop, even though I don't have a reason to study as profoundly as I did before, I am finding new insights and experiences through the scriptures, because now I have more time to do the things that I enjoy, and I want to be as committed to internal change and external service because of the example that President Nelson has set.
I felt something very similar as I watched that man. He's incredible.
He is.
So it the last question was, well, what are you doing to be wholehearted? But it sounds like you've kind of answered that as well. So do you have any other thoughts about wholehearted or sunrises and light? Anything that you'd like to add before we sign off?
Well, the other area, a different area of my life where I have been very wishy-washy has been involved in civic issues within my community, both locally and nationally. And I have been trying to shed that attempt to be indifferent or attempt to keep my opinions to myself, and trying to share and articulate how I see and how I am affected by all of the riots and the protests and the changes that people want, and I'm trying to, well, what changes would I want? And instead of being a spectator in that particular arena, I'm trying to make the decision to be wholehearted. No, I'm not trying. I'm making wholehearted small steps in the right direction to experience that and to feel that I am a wholehearted good citizen of my community because I am a participating member.
That's really important to do, and it's something that I've been engaging in more and more myself, because I feel a sense of duty almost, and maybe guilt for not recognizing the responsibility that comes with this freedom. So I'm grateful to hear that that's something you're embarking on.
Well, and it's it's hard when to run for public office requires time and financial commitment. I am of the age now that even if I was to try and join the military, that they probably would say, no, you're too old. And but things that I can do, I can write letters. I can I can be involved. One very specific way, there's an open field in our neighborhood where it feels like people have been dumping their garbage more and more this particular year than in years past. And I used to, well, the city will take care of it.
Right.
Oh, the city will know about it. Well, I realized that the city isn't taking care of it simply because they're not aware of it. They need someone to stand up and to speak and to say, hey, this isn't right. This is what's going on.
Yeah.
And I have tried to be that person without being an absolute jerk about it. So I reported it to the police, and the police have actually given me some tips on how to track it and also report it so that it is easier for them to get to. And the officer that I spoke with said, we are working on a plan. This is what we're planning on doing. Give us some time to work through it. And so I'm allowing that to happen, and at the same time I'm continuing to monitor to make sure that my community, my little neighborhood, is staying as clean as it possibly can.
Right, and that's where really we should be starting. Is,
Yes.
within something that's within reach.
Absolutely.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for everything you shared, Peter. This has been really an awesome morning.
Yes, I have certainly enjoyed it.
Yeah, good. All right.